am Dr. Shanna Miller-Gazzoni. I am the owner at Total Health and Healing Center here in Coon Rapids, Minnesota. We are a wellness center about 30 minutes north of Minneapolis, and I'm here today with Dr. Paige Caney. She's a physical therapist and nutrition coach, and we're here to ask her a couple questions about what she does here.
All right.
So, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Can you first tell us a little bit about your background and education?
Sure. So, like Shanna said, I'm a doctor of physical therapy. I went to the University of Minnesota, got my bachelor's of science in kinesiology, and then I also attended the U of M for PT school as well. Graduated in 2012. So I've been a practicing physical therapist for almost 13 years. And I've been working as a PT primarily in like outpatient orthopedic type settings ever since. With physical therapy, I kind of combine a manual therapy hands-on approach with corrective exercises, functional exercises. I do a lot of trigger point dry needling and kind of combine those two things to get the patient better, back to doing what they love. But I felt like something was missing, and I always had an interest in like food, nutrition, cooking. I cook all the time. And I kind of started my own health journey about 5 years ago or so. I started exercising regularly and really looking at what I was eating in an attempt to kind of like heal myself. I was dealing with a lot of different like skin conditions, gut issues, mental health stuff, and I knew there was like a missing like link there with food. And so once I started to see the true benefits of how changing your diet can have such an impact on all of those things, I just became really passionate about it. And then I looked into getting certified, and that's where I found my nutrition coaching certification. And I did that almost 2 years ago now, and I've been loving that ever since.
That sounds so cool, where you started in physical therapy, which is very musculoskeletal. There's injuries and getting people better and well and functioning again, and then combining it with nutrition. Can you tell everyone a little bit more about how they're connected and how both of them together work synergistically even better than just one separate?
Yeah, sure. So like I said, I felt like I was really enjoying my work as a physical therapist, but I always felt like there was this missing link. Like I treat a lot of people, especially with chronic pain, and they get better a little bit, but there was just something missing, and I feel like nutrition has really like filled that gap. There are so many things that you can do with food, using food as medicine, especially when it comes to like chronic pain, chronic inflammation. Working with the diet to reduce that whole body and inflammatory response. After somebody gets injured, there's like an acute injury or they're recovering from surgery, it is so important to prioritize like hydration and your protein and all of that to really let the structures heal, let your body heal. And a lot of that stuff kind of gets missed with, when you're talking to the surgeon or afterwards and you're doing your rehab. There's just this piece that food really can, like I said, fill that gap. And then just recovering, like I said, after injury and reducing like full body stress so that your body is capable of healing itself.
That's really cool. So it sounds like you use it with the physical work that you do, or you can use it with the physical work you do to reduce overall systemic inflammation so people can probably get better faster.
Yeah, for sure.
And then also if there's an acute injury, you can use it for recovery faster. So using nutrition, well, there's anti-inflammatory or more protein or more things to help you recover. And also I heard at the end there that you can also help people with like stress in general. And I'm assuming we'll probably talk more about like balancing your blood sugar and how food is combined with like anxiety and well-being, and that is so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so tell me more. So you can do them together. Let's just say someone just wants to do nutrition coaching with you. So if they just do that part with you, tell me a little bit about like what type of clients you see, or how do you work, or kind of just the overview.
Yeah, so with my nutrition coaching sessions, it's one-on-one, and I basically meet the client wherever they're at. So I have all sorts of different clients that I see. I will work with somebody maybe that is just getting started on their journey to health and wellness, and they're looking to just make some improvements in the quality of the food that they're eating. And so working with them one-on-one to really learn how to read nutrition labels and how to shop at the grocery store and maybe even how to cook. Some people have never really tried to cook like meals from home before. And so some of those basic things can make such a difference when you're dealing with, like I said, especially like chronic issues like skin issues or overall like inflammation, headaches, like all these things, gut issues, anxiety, depression. Some people are just looking to start improving the quality of their life and essentially heal some of these things through food. And so some people I work on just kind of the quality ingredients and getting the processed foods and things like that out of the body. Other clients that I see, they've come a long ways. They've put in the work themselves. They've kind of cleaned up their nutrition. They are working out regularly, and they're just not quite where they want to be at, like body composition wise, or they're just not feeling confident in their own skin yet, and they're looking to kind of shed that extra bit of body fat. And so really kind of tailoring the nutrition coaching to whatever they need and really focusing in on like calories and macros, teaching people how to accurately track their food that they're eating, count their macros, and really use those to kind of essentially get rid of any extra body fat without, while still preserving muscle mass, which is very important for a lot of people. And then kind of the third group of people that I've been seeing a little bit more recently, because that's what I am kind of getting really passionate about and finding kind of my little niche, is clients that have been there, done that. They've tried to lose the weight before. They are just kind of like, I've done that. I've tried every fad diet. I've tried different challenges at the gym. I've tried tracking my food. People sometimes they hit a wall with tracking and they're like, I can't do that anymore. They are usually people that are under a lot of stress, either at work or home, and it's very kind of a common pattern I've been seeing. They tend to show a lot of like issues with emotional eating, stress eating, sometimes binge eating, or just like mindless snacking. And so that group of people is kind of like my favorite group of people to work with right now. Like, I think it's more common than people realize. Like, a lot of us, myself included, we don't even know that we're doing it sometimes. We find ourselves like just snacking in front of the TV or rewarding ourselves, after the end of like a stressful day. And there's something that we're finding that is kind of underlying that. Like, there's a reason that people tend to binge eat, snack, do the mindless eating, the emotional eating, and you can have like all the willpower in the world, and you can be super dedicated and determined, like, nope, I'm going to lose these last 10 pounds, and you track and you try to cut out, you go on this restrictive diet and you might lose a little bit, but then something always happens. Like, life gets in the way, somebody is sick, or something stressful happens at work, or you go on a trip, traveling is a big one, something just kind of triggers that, like, nope, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, and then we kind of go back to our old habits. And so getting at like the root cause of why we're even doing those things in the first place is really what I'm finding is so helpful and effective. So it's very interesting.
I think that's really cool. So like going into people's limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging beliefs, or how their relationship with food reflects their relationship with themselves, and
for sure.
That's all cool.
Yeah.
So just to summarize, for the nutrition, it seems like you do, like you can do basically anything for anyone. It can be just teaching people how to food prep, or how to shop, and what to eat and when to eat and how, just like the basics. And then it can be more body composition if they want to. So macros and counting protein and keeping everything and losing body fat. So it can be very tailored. But then there's this really cool other category of like, I fall into this category myself, is like, I know, right? Like, you can do it or you do it for a little while, but then like life gets in the way, or like what's really going on inside of ourselves where we can't kind of be moderate, or like just be really healthy, and we're using food in kind of a little bit of a destructive way or a mindless way. So tell me, okay, so let's focus on that a little bit, or maybe Emotional eating, binge eating. I know that you have a little bit of some personal experience with why you got into this other part of nutrition. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your personal story and
Sure.
Where you're at right now?
Yeah. So like I said, I fall into that category as well. So I got really interested in food and nutrition and how I could heal my own issues, like 5 years ago or so. And I got to a certain point, up until about like 2 years ago, and I was just like, I was almost there. Like I was almost to a point of like, okay, I'm happy, I feel fit, and I feel healthy, and I like mentally feel really good, physically feel really good, but I was like, I just need something more. Like I just want to push it a little bit. I just felt like I needed something that I could succeed at, or I just needed that one more accomplishment of like getting that body fat down and like truly hitting like my ultimate goal of like body composition, physique, mental health, wellness, all of the things. And so last spring, so almost a year ago, I actually, in addition to all the healthy eating I was doing, in addition to working out 6 days a week, I actually started the 75 Hard Challenge, which for those of you who don't know, it's 75 days, and it's like a mental toughness challenge, but it's really rigorous. Like if you miss any of the days or you miss any of the components of the day, you fail. Failure was a big word that was used, and then you have to start over again. And the perfectionist in me, that now I know looking back on it, that was not good for me. But I did it. It was 75 days, and for 75 days straight, and you could not miss a day. You had to get 2 workouts in a day, 45 minutes each. One of them had to be outside. You had to take a selfie every day. You had to read 10 pages out of a book every day. You had to drink a gallon of water every day. And then you had to adhere to a certain diet, whatever diet you set for yourself. Well, again, perfectionist in me was like, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to give it my all and see where I can go with this. Like, how far can I push myself? And so I set myself on a very, very restrictive diet where I was eating nothing but whole foods, and I had eliminated a lot of carbs and just not eating out, not eating anything else other than what I would prep for myself for 75 days. And I did it. I actually made it the full 70 days. I felt like amazing. I felt on top of the world. I dropped a ton of body fat. I got super, super lean. And then everyone starts chit-chatting, like, oh my gosh, you look so great, like, what did you do? And like, so, like, I get that external validation, right? And again, as a perfectionist, I felt like, oh my gosh, I finally, like, I hit my goal. Here I am.
She's arrived.
And then that lasted for like a week, like 1 week of yay. And then it was like, oh my God, my whole nervous system shut down. It was following that, like a solid, I kid you not, 2 months, 2 months of like a straight binge. And it was like, I wasn't binging on like burgers and ice cream. I was binging on like the stuff I didn't allow myself to eat before, like rice and granola and nuts. Like I took nuts out of my diet. And so it was like all the nuts, and we know nuts are very high in calories. But I felt for 2 solid months after that 75 days, like I could not get satisfied. I could not, like I just felt hungry, and like I was just starving all the time. And it was like an out of body experience.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know, it was such a blur when I was in it. I couldn't even see what was going on until everything calmed down.
Did you have like, what were your emotions in that? Like, were you totally out of your body, or
Yes.
did you have like shame or guilt or?
Nope. I was like not even, like I felt like it was an out of body experience.
Interesting.
I had like no emotions for like, really for 2 months. I didn't know what was going on. All I knew was I needed food. And I started doing like the weirdest things that I've never done before. Like I started sneaking food. I would like overbuy all of this food. My husband would open the fridge and be like, why do we have all this food in here? And some of it was going bad. And like prior to that, I had really had it down to a science, like exactly how much chicken and veggies, I needed to prep and stuff. And it was just like this.
By the way, I see this with a lot of people who do fitness challenges, physique challenges, bodybuilding, things like that. Like after the intense cut, that people get, messed up. You get messed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like emotions, I think I was just burying whatever I was feeling. I don't even know. I was just totally disconnected from my body. So it was like this nervous system thing that now I know, now that I'm on the other side of it, you kind of see it all play out, like, oh, okay, that's what's going on there. And honestly, I was just so desperate, because then I had gained all my weight back.
Yeah.
And then what's it all for? Like, I just felt like that then, at that point then, 2 months into it, like, my emotions started to come back. And then I felt like I totally failed. Like, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt. Like, what did I even do that for, right? Like, what was the point of all of that I just put my body through? And so it was around that time where I found in my inbox, in my email, I had saved some of these emails from this lady, this program called Make Peace with Food, with Sherry Shaban. Amazing. And I was like kind of reading through it, like, this is it. This is what I need right now. And so I actually, for myself, joined this program and worked through all of these things. And I'm still part of the program, and it's just fantastic. But basically learned that the nervous system is driving all of these things. Like, we're supposed to be, you've heard of fight or flight before. We're just constantly, all of us are running around like chickens with their heads cut off. Like, we're just in this constant state of stress, in that fight or flight. And when you're in that fight or flight, like, your nervous system kind of just takes over, and your binge like response in your brain is turned on, and you're looking for any sort of like thing to cope with or calm, any like hit of dopamine that you can find to like calm down a little bit. And for a lot of us, that's food. Like, we have learned over the years, we've actually trained our brains to like use food as a coping mechanism for everything, for stress, for uncomfortable emotions that we don't want to deal with, for like happy things, like rewarding ourselves with food. When we're bored, like, that's an emotion. I learned that boredom is like an emotion that people are not even comfortable with.
They're trying to escape.
And they try to escape boredom by checking Facebook or grabbing a snack or whatever. And so what I had done to myself essentially was like restricted so hard for so long, and I put myself into this like imposed food scarcity, we call it, to where my body actually thought I was like starving. And my hunger hormones, like all my cues were all off, and my metabolism was super messed up. And so through this program, I've learned to like retrain my brain into like calming down and like actually feeling safe and being like, okay, it's like getting out of that fight or flight. And when you actually can do that and calm the nervous system down, then you can think with like the rational part of your brain. Yeah. And you can make decisions on food. Like, no, I don't need that snack right now. Whereas before, there wasn't even time to think. It was just like putting it in the mouth. There was no like rational thinking whatsoever.
Yeah. And I know part of the program too is even the deep things, the deep motivators of a person. Like, why are you a perfectionist?
Yes.
Like, why are you the way you are? And deconstructing that in a really healthy way to understand it and bring it all to light, to start healing the parts of you that motivate you.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so all these things I've learned through this program, and I've started to incorporate with my own clients, and it's just been a game changer. It's so awesome. But essentially, like, there is something, when you go to snack, when you are feeling like, like emotionally you want to bury kind of those emotions, you don't want to experience those emotions, and you want to eat to kind of avoid the emotion that you're feeling, or if you feel like you need to reward yourself with food, whatever it is, there's usually some kind of trigger that happens. And so, like, instead of trying to have all the willpower and like stop yourself from grabbing a snack when you have these like strong feelings, because it just doesn't work. You can't just like take your hand out of the bag of chips and like not, you know what I mean? Like, you start binging or you start just eating out of like comfort, and then like you can't just stop and be like, don't do that, you're not supposed to do that.
Like,
if there's something driving
force,
it. And so, like, instead of trying to like, no, instead of that, like, why not get to the root cause of like what is behind that like feeling, what's going on, why do you have these emotions, what's driving that, the perfectionism and like the avoiding of the emotions. A lot of us grew up with like kind of the mentality of like, don't cry, be strong, right? Like, which kind of taught us over time to avoid feeling those things. Like, bury, if you feel sad, don't let it out, bury it down. And then at some point something triggers you, and it comes back, and then when it comes out, you're like, well, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So how can I feel better? And instead of just working through it and actually processing emotions in a healthy way,
Yeah.
you just reach for something that makes you feel better, like a cookie.
Yeah. I find for myself, it's like I have been trained or groomed to take care of everything and everyone all the time.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of women are like that, like where we need to make sure everyone else is okay before we can make our own food or food prep or think about how we feed ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that would be a great, we should deconstruct that to see like, well, what is that all about?
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Is that true? Is that necessary to really get to like how, what is my relationship with food? And
right. Yeah.
what's my relationship with myself? Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, do you have enough self-love essentially to like put yourself up there? You know, you're making dinner for the kids, and you gotta. There's like always a time constraint.
Time scarcity.
You gotta get to soccer or whatever, and it's like, okay, you gotta make the food for the kids, and then no time for mom. Right? Shovel in whatever popcorn you can find. And then you go and you leave, and it's just this
it sounds so amazing.
It sounds stressful.
Yeah, this sounds so amazing. It sounds like coaching, nutrition coaching, and therapy at the same time, and healing at the same time. This just
it's cool.
Super exciting.
It is just really interesting, and it's like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we living this way?
Yeah.
Why can't we just like calm down, have peace, be at peace?
Yeah.
And like, yes, make our dinner for our kids, but also like feed ourselves. Like, give ourselves the nutrition and the fuel that we need for not only physical, like having the physique that you want, but like your mental health.
Yeah.
It's this vicious cycle of like getting stressed out and then overeating, and then it just goes back and forth. And so like, why are we trying to like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, what it sounds like is, I love it, because I mean, not everyone deals with all of these issues. Like, good for them, which can just decide to do a plan and want to do it and stick to it. Great.
I like 2%. Those guys too. Don't get me wrong.
They're great too.
They're fun people too. Yeah.
But I love it that you're looking for the root cause and truly trying to get to people's inside healing.
Yeah.
So if someone schedules with you or wants to schedule with you, how should they go about doing that? And what does that look like? How many sessions?
Yeah. So our first appointment is 90 minutes. It's a full evaluation. Like, we dive deep into like your health history, your diet history. Like, are you a chronic like dieter? Have you restricted a lot in the past? What does your relationship with food look like? And if there are some of those issues, then we work through some of this like nervous system stuff. Some people, honestly, this is the first time they're like really looking at their food, and so it's super easy breezy. Like, nope, let's just get down to like, how many calories should I even be eating in a day? So we collect all the information, kind of, like I said, do that thorough dive into history, and then we have a body composition scanner, take weight and everything, take measurements, and kind of look at what are we starting with, what are our baseline body fat, muscle mass. What are your goals then? Like, what do you want to get out of this? Like I said, some people need help with just grocery shopping, meal prepping, meal planning. Some people really want to tailor the macros to like give them their dream body, or help them maybe if they play a sport or something with their sports performance, or how they're working out. And then, like I said, some people need more. Some people need a different kind of like a shift of our typical like, nope, calories in, calories out. Like, that works for some people, and then we go that route. And if you've been there, done that, and that's not working for you, let's try something else. And so it's so individualized, but it's one-on-one coaching. That first 90 minutes, we go through all of that and kind of figure out like, what are your goals? Whatever your goals are my goals, and like, I'm going to help you get to wherever you need to be, and meet you where you're at too, like starting point wise. And then we formulate a plan. Sometimes it involves tracking food with macros. Sometimes you have homework that works, like inner self work. And then each follow-up session is 50 minutes. And it's, again, going through all of those things, whichever path kind of we've decided we need to be on. And then taking like progress measurements to update and monitor your progress. And then people can do those follow-up visits as often as they need to. Like, some people start off seeing me once a week. They need a little bit more accountability, a little bit more education, whatever it is. I love that. And then as they start to feel more comfortable kind of going out on their own, then we start to spread those appointments out a little bit further.
Yeah, that sounds super cool. Is there anything else that we missed? Like, can you think of anything else that we didn't talk about that you want everyone to know?
I think we covered a lot. I just think I really like being here in this space, like working with the team that we have here. Like, you deal with people all the time, looking, like, your job is looking for the root cause of whatever it is. And, like, I think just having that accessibility to different professions within our office is really cool. Like, if I get to a point where somebody does need more mental health coaching, like, I'm not certified in that. I have these tools that I can give you to kind of get you on the right track and help yourself. And I can teach you about food as a nutrition coach, but there might be a little bit more to it. So then I can refer out to, like, mental health counseling or whatever you might need. So that is really cool too.
It is cool. Yeah, the Wellness Center has all of the above.
All the things.
All of the people are here. Well, thank you so much for doing this. If you want to schedule with Dr. Paige, you can always go to our website. It's www.totalhealthandhealing.com. You can click on schedule here. Feel free to call the office or always email us. It's on the website if you need more information.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for watching, guys.